Hey, it's Garret Graves, and I want to give you all a quick update on Comite project. First of all, we do have a Comite website, a Comite Diversion Canal website, and so those of you that are interested in this project, you can sign up there and you can get regular updates. You also can see additional updates on that website. It is garretgraves.house.gov/Comite. Sorry about the long website. But I'll say it again. It's Garret Graves, GarretGraves.house.gov/Comite. You can go there, you can sign up, you can get information on what's going on. I'm going to go through some of the recent questions that have come up in regard to the Comite project and give you all answers, but thank you for continuing to engage us, and I appreciate your interest in this important flood protection project for our region. So first question is, can you give me an update on the repair of the weir at the confluence of the Amite River and the Diversion Canal? Yeah, absolutely. So we have provided a total of $3 billion in funding, and we have various funding pots and sources and projects that are underway. Of the funding that we provided, there has been engineering and design of the weir, as well as dredging of the Amite River at the mouth. That has been underway. It is supposed to be completed right about now, and they projected that in the second quarter of this year, so sometime perhaps spring or summer of this year, they will let a contract to do the dredging and the rebuilding of the weir there. So that is one question that I know we had. Let's see, a second question. What are the future plans for dredging the Amite River basin to remove silt buildup? So two things here. First of all, of the $3 billion in funding that we've been able to secure for flood protection, we did secure a pot that is doing clearing and snagging and removal of vegetation, debris, and sediment. So far, about 350 miles of debris and sediment and vegetation has been removed. It's been football fields of vegetation, and we actually had some Facebook postings of some of these incredible piles from that. And so that is continuing to be underway. About 50 more miles of channels, bayous, rivers, ditches, and canals will be done. In addition to that, there is going to be a contract that is released sometime this spring or summer to do additional dredging work on the Amite River, particularly focusing on the mouth of the Amite to allow that water to get out into the Maurepas much faster. So thanks for your question there. So another question is, I'd like to know if dredging of the Comite River and Blackwater Bayou have started to take place. So there are two different, if I'm understanding you here, there are two different projects. So first of all, the dredging for the Comite would be the Diversion Canal, which is going to be the canal connecting to the Comite River and then moving west to the Mississippi River. Some of the excavation work has taken place, but most of the work to date has been on the utility relocation and on the bridges. There's going to be a pretty robust effort to do actual excavation or digging of that canal starting in the June or July timeframe of this year. Right now, they're projected to have the entire project completed by December of 2022. In regard to the Blackwater Bayou, that is actually a separate project that we've secured $255 million in funding for. It's called Baton Rouge Area Flood Control, and that focuses on Ward Creek, Jones Creek, Bayou Fountain, Blackwater Bayou, and Beaver Bayou up in the northern part of the parish. So that project, they're still going through and doing some of the engineering and design work on it, as well as land acquisition. Additional work on Blackwater Bayou is supposed to take place late this year and early next, if I recall correctly. So it is not, the major work's not happening right now, but there will be work underway there. Both the town of Central and these federal funds, $255 million in federal funds, have been set aside to do work on those projects. Okay, so the next question is, can you tell me why the work on the Comite River Diversion Canal has stopped? All the heavy equipment on Plank and McHugh Road, as well as 19 have been removed. So yeah, let me give you an update there. First of all, you're correct in that some of the heavy equipment has been removed, but that is because we're now going to be transitioning to excavation. So first of all, you can go to Highway 61, which is Plank Road. I was just out there last weekend. They have cranes, heavy equipment all over the place. They've rebuilt the railroad bypass, the road bypass for 61. So work is well underway there. They will be doing some excavation work within coming weeks there. In addition, back over in kind of the Plank and McHugh Road areas, with this month, so in the month of April of 2021, you will have heavy equipment return to that area because they're going to be transitioning to the actual excavation phase. So work has not stopped. It is underway. It's just changing phases. So that you will see heavy equipment back at that McHugh Road, Plank Road area in the month of April, and you are going to see excavation work taking place in that area as soon as this month, but certainly throughout the summer. Okay, we got another question that says, I traveled Highway 64 daily between Baker and Zachary for years prior to COVID. There was a large construction site being prepped with massive amount of land being cleared of trees with the same area at Highway 19 between Baker and Zachary. Then all of a sudden everything stopped. Was the clearing of the property part of the Comite Diversion Canal? And the answer is absolutely yes. And as a matter of fact, sometime later this year, hopefully in the July timeframe, you'll actually see excavation or digging of a canal in that area. So thank you for the question. Okay, next question is, please don't lose the message that this project, meaning the Comite project, is only a component of the larger flood management system. And then the question goes on to talk about project ideas like a reservoir such as Darlington on the northern part of the basin. And the question talks about how some of these projects could cause a faster evacuation of water, which would cause a faster rise instead of a gradual rise, a faster rise in some of our rivers and creeks. And so it's an important point to keep in mind that the Comite Diversion Project is only one component of a much larger system. In fact, as I mentioned, we have secured a total of $3 billion in funding. The Comite project is a really important component because most folks don't realize that virtually all of our area actually drains not into the Mississippi River, but it drains into the Maurepas Pontchartrain Basin. Now the Comite project changes that. It actually gives us the ability to drain water off of the Comite and Amite River systems and sends it over to the Mississippi River where there is excess capacity. And so there are other ideas like potentially doing improvements in the Baton Rouge area through the Baton Rouge Area Flood Control Project. We've secured funds for that. There are ideas like doing a reservoir in the northern part of the basin to slow down the amount of water that's flowing through the Amite and Comite systems, and then releasing that water later when there's more capacity, there's not a storm or a disaster event. All of those ideas have merit, and here's the great news. While we've secured full funding for the Comite project and full funding for the Baton Rouge Area Flood Control Project and full funding to do 400 miles of rivers and bayous and canals and ditches in Livingston Parish, and we've secured an additional $68 million in Livingston and $32 million in Ascension and $112 million in additional hazard mitigation work in East Baton Rouge Parish. We also have $1.2 billion to fund some of these future concepts. So whether it's a reservoir concept or whether it's concepts to divert more water out of different basins into areas that have capacity like the Mississippi River, we've got the money to do it. We've never had this before. $1.2 billion in funds that's reserved for future concepts. So those ideas have merit. Comite project is just a part of the larger system of $3 billion in improvements that we're going to have, but I'm confident this is going to result in the best flood protection that our community's ever had, and that's what's most important.